Hello, the game has started. My opponent's gone fast and he's played really quickly. Just 5 seconds of time elapsed. This is my rack and it looks pretty good, but is there a bingo here? I can't see a 7. Deffer doesn't take an S. Refade's not good. So what about the floaters? And I'm going to look down them in order. What about the U? Can't see anything there. Can't see anything with the A. Close to a feared. What about the R? Not seeing anything there. And the T, probably the most likely. Federates without an E. Refasted. Can't see anything. Well, I may be overlooking a bingo. Quart does take an E at the end, so I can leave a decent rack leave and score well with Fed. Wow, both blanks. Fantastic. And the rest of the rack is super bingo-y, so I will have over 3 trillion bonuses available here. Bingos, rather. But what might be the best? Well, there's a double-double lane in row E. And row J might score quite well if I can hook Quart. This is actually going to be quite a tricky rack to find bingos because there are going to be so many of them, and 2 blanks are always quite difficult. Fed takes an S. There's a triple word square available, beginning with the T. So I have Therese as my first candidate bingo. So what about a double-double through the U? Residual doesn't quite reach the second double word square. Great, that's been blocked, so I don't have to worry about that. No more double-double lanes available, so there's not going to be anything better than this. Therese, probably not ideal sticking the S at the end of column 15. So let me pause and try and place the S somewhere safer. I can play tasering, but the G also a useful letter for ending a bingo. But a better play than Therese. Row H would be better, ending ET. Well, I think because these tiles are so good, you can spend forever finding the best play. I'm going with tasering. Pretty good. There could easily be another bingo here. Just the duplicate A, the slight problem. However, a ton of bingos, a ton of floaters to consider. What about the G? Can't see anything with that. What about the N? Close to N seared. Why does that fail? Okay, only 2 E's. And I can't see anything with the N. 28 points for my opponent. And he's provided an S hook and possibly a T hook. But I don't think there are any 7s with this rack. Now, where did I get up to? The I. There could easily be a bingo here. What about the R? It's going to be really high probability, even with the duplicates. Can't see anything with the R. What about the S? Which, despite my best efforts, was still available for a bingo ending with it. Can't see anything. So I've got the C prefix, SEA. I've got the ED ending. Is there really nothing through the N? Not that I can see. Close to serenade, but again, that's 3 E's. So what to do? 16 minutes on my clock. There's the floating R, that's not helpful. There's the floating T. Do I have anything with this rack with the T? The T and the N, both really good tiles for going with this set. Just not seeing a bingo though. And the H is available. The Q not particularly useful. So do I carry on looking or get some measly score? I think I'll go with the measly score. AE is quite nice, 13 points. It's precisely the tiles I want to play. I'm setting up a new bingo lane, which is pretty useful with this massively bingo-y 5-letter set. Okay, so nothing more to say. I'm going with this. I suppose an alternative would be DAE. 15 points, only 2 more points. I'm going with this. A strong 5-letter set is a lot better than a strong 4-letter set. There's less to go wrong, less randomness in the draw. Wow. Okay. Bingo by my opponent, 67 points. He's in the lead, but I've got a good rack. I've got Ceridia and SAE. Do I have a bingo through the E, which may be a double-double? No. What about through the R? Well, that's not going to be any better than Ceridia. Do I have a play with the G? Don't think so. Now, I think Roquet is going to be the place because of quartets. So I have Rhodes and Ceridia. Is there a third anagram there? I thought there might be. Not that I can see. Okay, Rhodes it is. For 83 points. And I regain the lead by 40 points, but my opponent's on turn, so we're neck and neck. Wow, another bingo. 68 points with the G and the U. Okay, so he's now got a 27-point lead. I've got the Z. Is there a massive Z spot available? This board is wide open. It would be nice to play like a 5-letter play down here with the Z doubled. But Fanzo, Fanzon, Panzon, Ponza, none of those are good. Fonza, not good. So, anyway, huge for the Z, and I'd like to get rid of the F or the N. So, Fizz is available for 22 points. There must be something better than that. I thought I had Azon, but Tsar is not good. I've got Zona on my rack. There must be something good here. I'm trailing by 20. I've got Zona and AH, but that's placing the Z next to the double word score. I don't want to do that. I can't get the Z doubled and the word tripled. So do I have something with the F tripled or the P tripled? Can't see anything. Anything with the F or the P? Not using the Z. 12 minutes on my clock. Gosh, tricky situation. This looks a pretty good rack. But I'm just not seeing the killer Z play. And by killer, I mean, I'm really looking for 30 or 40 points. I've got Gazon. 30 points. Zune stopping short. Okay, well I am going to have to make a play. What about Zap? It is 44 points, so it hits the 40-point mark. It's pretty dangerous, ZA something. And the rack leaves ropey, but the score is good. I'm pretty sure this isn't optimal, but I'm going with it. Well, that's pretty good given what I kept. There's no bingo here, but the tiles look quite nice. And by providing this hot ZA spot, I'm keeping other spots available. I think I've got Foind in column 15 at the top right. Let me check that. That's going to score quite well. Yeah, that's good. Great. Well, not so great that my opponent scored 58, but I do have a comeback play, which is pretty massive. 50 points. And I'm now 9 points in the lead. Not a great rack, but I've got the W for score and vowels to go with it. Zax takes nothing after it. OE only takes an S, so X has killed the bottom left of the board. Rodies takes nothing in front. S takes an O after it. Wow, a 40-point play by my opponent. So I have the W. I can play Wee and Way. 28 points, which is going to draw me about level. Joe takes nothing in front. HE doesn't take anything in front that I've got. I have Oa down here, keeping EEN. But suddenly the board doesn't have a ton of hotspots. So taking out the bottom right is quite useful. I'm not ahead, so I don't mind there being floaters available. What about column 12, though? Because the bottom right is never going to score a lot because the double letter square is next to the S, so no high-scoring tile can go there, given both H's have gone. But what about a play with my W on this double letter square? So I could play Warn. 4 more points, but keeping 3 vowels. I don't want to do that. Look at all these I's to come. Horrendous. But is there something better? It was 28 points with just WE. Does OR help this rack leave? I don't think so, not with 3 O's out there. Three N's to come. That would damage the rack. 8 minutes on the clock. Where else can my W go? I don't have a play parallel to Hornbags. Okay, I'm going with this. Wow, pretty good. Could have been a lot worse. This looks close to a bingo. And not as dangerous as it might be because there's already a floating R available for bingos ending in R. Cleaner, not good. 38 points for my opponent. He's now 40-odd points ahead, so I'm struggling to keep up with him. And still 22 tiles to come. Now, the G is quite useful for bingos, ending ING. So, a couple of bingo lanes, well, 8-letter plays ending E or R, and ING words. So, certainly are bingo lanes on this board. I don't have any with this rack that I can see. Wow, I thought I had Scenario for a minute because Well, that is good, and it plays through the R, but it doesn't go in front of EX. And it's scenario, reliance, and care line, and they all fail. Okay, and do I have anything with the G, an AGE ending, and an AGE ending? Perhaps can't see anything. So I need to keep the board open because I'm behind. All of these tiles are bingo-y. Let me check the remaining vowel situation. 13 out of 29. Okay, so it's about half and half with vowels. A lot of I's to come. It's tempting to keep the I because of ing. But maybe I should play it and play my I to make QI. I can't see a play in that spot. Just 6 minutes left. Look how fast my opponent is playing. Have I considered all bingo lanes? TA not available for a bingo. So Lex is good. I'm just wondering about opening some more bingo lanes by playing down column 2. Can't see anything, so I better do something, I guess. It's such a shame to wreck this rack. It's so nice. Just wondering if I have a play in row D, which isn't going to block anything. E goes in front of TA. C goes in front of HE. What a tricky situation. Well, what about playing ice here? 9 points. Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Niche is good. And uni is good. But NI isn't good. NIE is, I think, I'm getting a good feeling about this. 24 points, that's better. The rack leaves just about okay. Hanging on, holding out for an ING word. Not essential, especially with all the I's and N's to come. I'm going with this. Okay, I have alcoves. No F4, that, no 7-letter lanes on this board. Coevals is the anagram. Can't see anything through the G. Nice play by my opponent, 30 points, and he opens up nothing and he kills the G lane. Anything with this rack ending with the R. Don't think so. I have vocalese. Do I? Yes, I do. Fantastic. Vocalese, 88. Bang. So, scores. I am winning by 40. And that V is a killer tile. It totally prevents access to this triple word square. Now, I've drawn a U and a V. My rack is pretty poor, but I've got a 40-point lead to hang on to, and the board is suddenly pretty tight. Not a huge number of opportunities available, and I can't see any really hot spots at all. But it's not so tight that I can't eke out 20-point plays. 8 tiles in the bag. I think my opponent does need to open the board. Now, row G is available as a bingo lane for bingos hooking TA and HE and ending R, but any such bingo would open column 1. However, were my opponent to bingo in that spot or bingo anywhere, I think he would have a strong advantage. He would be a clear favourite to win the game. Wow, so, well, I don't know about lucky, but I guess it is lucky. Vocalese. Lucky to have the tiles for it, but obviously good to spot it. Now, I haven't seen anything with this rack. I'm just so excited about spotting that bingo. I didn't have much hope of finding a playable bingo with those tiles. It looked like a rack which made 7s. So, what am I going to do? Only 4 minutes on my clock, but only 8 tiles left, so that's not a problem. I have Vuln 16 points, and that's going to be quite nice because it gets rid of VU and one of the ends, and it doesn't give anything away. But if my opponent doesn't open the board up, bottom right is looking like the best place to play. Now, do I have a play? Okay, my opponent has created a bingo lane. And I'm only 20 points ahead, so I mustn't be complacent. 4 tiles left, so the remaining tiles don't look bingo-y, so do I play Vuln? I don't think I do, because that then invites a play in row H, placing the Y underneath the O, and that could be a 40 or 50 point play. I can kill that with Vin, 12 points. It's slightly dangerous because I'm only 20 points ahead, 3 minutes on my clock. But it doesn't provide anything. It takes out a pretty hot spot. It leaves one in the bag. There's a lot to like about this play. The only downside is that it scores 12 points, but Vuln was only going to score 16, and I hadn't spotted anything better, so I think this is fine. I could play Vid, but then that keeps the duplicate N. No A's to worry about. 3 minutes on my clock. I'm going with this. Quite nice. Scoring tiles, balanced. Look at this. This is what my opponent's got. Pretty horrendous. Now, I lead by 31 points. Most of the action, I think, for me is going to be in the bottom right. Wow, nice score for my opponent. 27 points. I'm only leading by 4. I did feel a little bit of complacency coming over me. But my opponent can't go out in 2. So all I need to do is go out in 2, I think. How do I do that? Well, I've got Bendy. 14 points. Keeping U, P, E. So I'd have Pule. Two minutes on my clock. I've got Duple. I don't think this Y is useful for my opponent at all. So what about playing Duple? Keeping Ben. I'm really going to struggle to have 2 outs. 1 minute on my clock. Is there a big play in column 2? Well, maybe there is. 27 points, but I'm not going to go out with BMP. I think I need to leave myself the chance of going out. Can my opponent make good use of this spot? He can play something like Urk. Wow, this isn't... And he's got the O for making EXO. Only 1 minute on my clock. Now, do I have Bundle? That's looking better. 20 points. I'm going with this. Bundle, 20. PE, I ought to be able to go out in 2 spots. I have Pen. I have Pi. And I have P and I'm definitely going out with this rack. And I have a lead of 24 points. My opponent could possibly win if he's got a massive K play, but I don't think he's going to be able to score enough. So where's the best place for PE? What have I seen? Well, I saw Pen for 5, Pi for 10. 23 for my opponent. He's 1 point behind. And just checking to see if he's provided anything, and he hasn't. So pi for 10 should win. Yes, it does. So the final score: 462 for my opponent, 481 for me, a winning margin of 19 points. Very exciting game, very well played by my opponent. Pretty big score from him and really close. So let's see what I missed. So it was my opponent to go first. This was his rack. He played quart for 48, which was a great start for him. Now, did I miss a bingo? Yes, I did. Draftees, H4, through the T. Well, well done if you spotted that. That was the only available bingo. I played Fed for 28 and a pretty good rack leave. So not a huge difference between the two, but Draftees would have been better. Now, does my opponent have a bingo? No. He plays through and I have 10 million bingos. And what did I do? I played tasering for 74. I could have got 9 more points by overlapping Fed. Okay. I did consider that, but I didn't do it. Opponent's rack. He plays Tog. Great. I didn't miss a bingo here. I thought I may have done. I played AE, and I think that compares favourably with the other choices above because it's keeping a really good 5-letter set. And this was a great spot by my opponent, Hornbags. And that's one reason why the Fed overlap play would have been better. I would have been sticking fewer floaters out in the open. Well, as all floaters are. So this was my rack. Radios was the third anagram that I didn't see. I went with roadies for the same score. And radios would have been slightly better because it wouldn't have put a vowel above this double letter square. Now, look at this. Not a great rack, but it is with a floating E. So, good spot by my opponent. He's now 20-odd points in the lead. And this was a pretty critical play. I played Zap, and I didn't like it. Well, it's coming up as top, and there was nothing else score-wise close to it, and none of these rack leads are inspiring, so I still suspect it's not the best play, but there's nothing obviously better. Opponent plays X. And I have Foyne for 50, which scored well and sorted the rack out and kept me close to my opponent. Opponent has Jar to go into a 20-odd point lead. And I struggled here and I went with Oa for 27 and that looks fine. And my opponent gets 38 points, so he continues to score well. He's now got a 40-point lead. Reliance plays H12. Oh, there was another floating R. I saw the R of roadies and Oa. And there was another R for another floating R. So Reliance did play, so that was a bad miss. What did I do? NIE, which I was really pleased with, but wrongly so because I missed a bingo. Opponent plays Lim, and I have Alcoves, but spot Vocalese, which was a game changer. Suddenly, I'm 40 points in the lead and the board is tight. Opponent plays Lout, opening up a solitary bingo lane and also a strong lane in row H for a non-bingo play. He doesn't need a bingo to win, he just needs a big score. And, well, whatever is said down here, I think Vin is the play because it stops that strong score and takes out the floater. I'm still 30 points ahead. Opponent plays Ivy, which is a pretty good score. Gauntleted. Wow. Nice. Well, nice word, but I don't think it's the best word. I think bundle is best. I think it's the only play there which clearly gives me an out in 2. Yeah. Ike for my opponent. And then finally Pi for 10 was best, and there were other outs around the board. So, great game. Delighted to recorded that on video. Quite short on time, given how fast my opponent played, and a high-scoring game all round. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.